What is up, YouTube? This is William from W&J Wrestling, and I bring you this week a week in wrestling. Have some news about superstars once we get to it, but as for now, it has been a pretty interesting week in wrestling. One of the biggest topics is what happened on at the end of Raw, but we'll get to that once we get to that. So let's just go ahead and move on into it. Starting off with Raw, some interesting things happened. First off, Cena comes out, makes his return after taking all of a week off. I know he's been gone for so long. So many people must have missed him. I didn't. But yeah, he's back. Well, I wouldn't say full time. He came back mainly due to low ratings. They brought him and McMahon in this week to try and boost the ratings up, which I do think they succeeded, but I don't think they got it back on average. I know they're competing a lot with football right now, so that usually takes the ratings down. But yeah, he comes out, and it's pretty funny actually a little bit. I give Cena that every time. He is excellent on the mic, without a doubt. He's kind of evaluating how Raw is, talking about like the different things going on, like Kane and Daniel Bryan as a tag team, and all the other wacky stuff. Making fun of Antonio Cesaro's nipples. That was pretty great. And then he asks AJ out. First he calls her crazy, and then he's like, I'm kind of into it. It's like, if you want to go out and put myself out there, let's go get a burger or something. So I got a laugh out of that. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting segment. Ryback squash Primo and Epico. Nothing spectacular about it. It was both of them were in the ring with him at the same time, and Ryback just ate him. The end. Little Jimmy came out and wanted to dance with Brodus Clay. As you can see, I tried to find the best picture of Little Jimmy I could, and I thought this was a good one here. So yeah, him and Brodus Clay had a nice little dance session. Now, in all honesty, the segment was a complete waste of time, and it really aggravated me because it was like they were out there, and it was supposed to be R-Truth versus Brodus Clay, but he's like, Little Jimmy wants to dance, so they dance, and McMahon's like, get out of the ring, I'm about to come out there. Speaking of which, Vince comes out and is just almost immediately interrupted by Punk, and Punk slaps him in the face, goes to walk out, and Vince says, you face me in this ring tonight or you're fired, and Punk's all for it. And at first, once this kind of happened, you kind of seen Heyman he was very hesitant, so it looked like maybe they were building up tension between Punk and Heyman, but it turned out otherwise. It was kind of settled later on in the show with that. Because I was like, is Heyman going to turn on Punk? Is he going to leave him? But no, that wasn't what happened. Heyman was just trying to save himself, saying, this is bad. You don't want to fight the boss. And he's like, no, you just need to beat him half to death so he can't actually punish you. So, be out of the way. So yeah, that happened. Ray and Sakara beat Primetime Players in a tag team tournament match. No shocker. The tag team tournament match, for the most part, has been very predictable. It's been bad guy versus good guy, bad guy versus good guy. So these are the two who advanced on to face their opponents, who we find out later on in the show. Sheamus beat Barrett in a match via DQ. Tensai interfered, and that's what caused the disqualification. I'm not gonna lie, this was a great match, actually. Just because, watching the match, it was very believable. How well Barrett was holding up against Sheamus, and I understand. I was aggravated that they ended it with Tensai coming and getting disqualification to end the match, because they don't want to hurt Barrett's push forward. But this is the these are the kind of opponents Barrett needs to be going against, not squashing Tyson Kidd 3 weeks in a row in Superstars. There's absolutely no point to that. So yeah, but this was a very good match. There's potential for this feud in the future. I wouldn't mind seeing it because these two put on definitely a great show. Cesaro beat Tyson Kidd was a pretty pointless match. Just beat him. That was about it. I mean, it was a decent match. I'm not gonna lie, because both these two are excellent wrestlers, and they did put on a good show. Just for the most part, there was no reasoning behind this match. It was just a match for Cesaro to put down another opponent. Team Hell No beat Alberto Del Rio and Ziggler. Doesn't shock her there. Hell No was just literally on fire. Great tag team, very funny. So there's not so much about that. It was just that. They had a promo with Larry King was doing, I guess, like a little show on Raw, and Miz was his original opponent. It was the Miz's birthday, by the way. He turned, I think, 32. So yeah, Larry King's like, "Oh well, you're boring. You need to leave. I'm having a new guest come out, Kofi." And so Miz and Kofi just kind of started attacking each other and just set up for later on in the week. The Rhodes Scholars beat with Santino and Zack Ryder, who call themselves the Co-Bros now. Get it? Because Cobra, Co-Bros. I thought that was kind of catchy. So yeah, they beat them. Like I said, the tag team tournament's been pretty predictable. I imagine that Rhodes Scholars next week on Raw are going to go on to beat Sin Cara and Ray, because Hell No is a face tag team. I know they do heelish things, but they are faces, and these guys are the heels. And it's been looking like WWE is trying to build these guys up to go in and face them. The way it seems, I don't really think they're going to take the titles away from Kane and Daniel Bryan, but I'll see how I feel as progresses more towards Hell in a Cell. Eve beat Caitlyn to retain her belt in the match Caitlyn was supposed to get at Night of Champions. I kind of felt like WWE threw away the potential for storyline that they had here. It was definitely too early for Caitlyn to try and use her rematch clause. I understand that WWE didn't want to give Caitlyn the belt that was initially supposed to go towards Eve, and the botch with the Battle Royal completely changed all that. But I felt WWE actually had potential to create a good storyline with this. Like, they could have furthered it along more. With Caitlyn eventually finding out, yeah, it was Eve who attacked me from behind, and she would, exact her revenge and win the Divas title. I understand it was a little early for Caitlyn, and they had time to build up on that because they still have the the Eve Layla feud to go on with, and then could have came to this later on and have Caitlyn build up her skills a little more so she could look a little better in the ring. But still, point being that though you had potential for a storyline, they threw it away, and I think that was a very bad part on their very bad on their part. And I don't know if anybody else. Well, if you read online, you know about this, that Vince fired the head of the creative team and replaced him with someone else. And basically he told everyone in the back that if ratings keep going down and the writing doesn't get better, none of you guys are safe with your jobs. I can replace each and every one of you. So from what I understand, the writing's is supposed to get a whole lot better. And that's something that we've been needing for a while, because a lot of things that have been going on for a while have been very lackluster in WWE, and I think Vince threatening everyone's job is the motivation they need to straighten up. So it'll be interesting to see where they go within the future. But like I said, for this, they completely threw the potential of a good storyline with this away, in my opinion. Vince and Punk had a fight in the ring, basically. It was supposed to be a match, but for the most part, they were just beating each other down the entire time. I was actually surprised, because I just expect Vince to get beat down the entire time. He was actually beating Punk down majority of the time. So I was like, whoa, look at Vince, and his arms are huge. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I forgot how big Vince was. So yeah, that happened, and I don't know I think I have the next slide. Yeah, basically Punk ran out into the crowd, and Vince told him that at Hell in a Cell, he was either facing Cena or Ryback. I forgot to mention, I'm sorry guys, that during the fight with Punk and Vince, Ryback came out to save Vince, and that's what kind of led to later on Vince saying that you'll either face Cena or Ryback in Hell in a Cell. And during this time now, Punk had run out into the crowd. And I'm sure, as we've all heard by now, Punk had an altercation with one of the fans in the crowd. But you know what? This video is about to end, so I'm going to stop here and I'm going to talk about it, because I know it's going to take me more than 30 seconds to discuss.